At Rome Fiumicino Leonardo da Vinci Airport, travelers are greeted by an amazing experience, as a trip through art and beauty turns the wait for their planes into an opportunity for discovery. Aeroporti di Roma has been welcoming culture and art for years, displaying works that have gradually transformed every corner of the airport into visionary spaces dedicated to expression and stories. Here, art is more than just a detail. It is an invitation to wander and rediscover the deep link between past and present, explore the connection between the great Italian artistic heritage and newer forms of expression. Where do these works take us? What worlds do they reveal? This is Orizzonte, a podcast series developed by Cora Media for Aeroporti di Roma. The dove has long been a symbol of peace. Since antiquity and the Bible, God sends a dove bearing an olive branch to tell Noah that the great flood has ended and a new age of peace is about to begin. But the most iconic image of the dove, the one that we continue to picture in our minds today, comes from Pablo Picasso. It seems that Picasso loved depicting doves ever since he was a child, to the point he even raised them in his studio in Paris. In 1949, one of his lithographs of a white dove was chosen to illustrate the poster of the Paris Peace Congress. Picasso was genuinely surprised by this, since he personally never considered doves to be peaceful creatures. Ultimately, he was convinced by the fact that doves had long been symbols of peace in the Judeo-Christian faith. Just a few months later, Picasso would name his newborn daughter Paloma, which means dove in Spanish. This powerful symbol still speaks to us. Each time we see it depicted, the dove serves as a reminder of how important peace is, now more than ever. In the case of Marco Lodola's work Deti, the dove is yellow, a large, colorful, shining bird on a black backdrop, which can be found at Fiumicino Leonardo da Vinci Airport's Pier A. The piece serves as a reminder of the terrible war between Ukraine and Russia. The word Deti means children in Russian, and it was written on the grounds of the pediatric hospital in Mariupol to warn aircraft against bombing the young patients in its care. The art of Marco Lodola takes us physically to that place, and at the same time, to all places where such terrible things, regrettably, continue to occur. Just like the dove of Picasso, the works of Marco Lodola often break out from the canonical spaces of art and into the public sphere, where they can be admired by large crowds of people. Lodola's art is part of the new futurism movement of the 80s. It uses lights, bright colors, and striking images. It shares with the first futurists that same devotion to modernity, the use of innovative material and techniques, as well as a playful iconoclastic approach. This way, art escapes the constraints of traditional museums and galleries and places itself outside, in parks, squares, and on building walls. The goal is to communicate directly with the public in a completely new urban and artistic context. After a while, the presence of a sculpture is simply accepted, and passers-by, initially attracted by the colors, start to lean in closer to see the actual message. In 1954, the German playwright Bertolt Brecht had a dove of peace painted on the curtain of his theater troupe, the Berliner Ensemble, inspired by the lithograph of his friend Picasso. Following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the original curtain was once again put on display. The long flight of the dove of peace, from great floods to the atrocious battlefields of today, means so much more in our modern times. A voice that must make us pause and listen. Orizzonte is a podcast series by Cora Media in collaboration with Aeroporti di Roma. Written by Rosella Bertinardi, narrated and adapted by John Vincent Aquilecchia. Editing by Sara Poma. Sound design by Lucrezia Marcelli. Graphic design by Rebecca Grassi. The project manager is Anna Nenna. The producer is Sabrina Patilli. The post-production coordinator is Matteo Scelsa. Studio recordings by Luca Possi.